Good evening, everyone. Namo Buddhaya. Very warm welcome to our regular Saturday evening blessing program, Dhamma. As usual, from Lecture Dhammanikethanaya Buddhist Center, on every Saturday evening, we meet for the Dhamma blessings, to join the temple, to gain the blessings, also an opportunity to practice our Dhamma, also to gain the understanding about the teachings of the Buddha. Dhamma dana is the highest form of dana. Therefore, if one share the Dhamma, always gain the highest merits. Merits makes our life progress, develop, even make it comfortable to ease all the suffering and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. It is important to have that merits, otherwise the life, the journey is difficult in samsara. Today, our program is sponsored in loving memory of Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput to mark his first anniversary in remembrance, wishing may he find the Sri Sadhamma in the journey of samsara and may he attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. These blessings also been dedicated our sponsors, all the departed relatives and friends, and may they equally share the benefit of this meritorious activity, and may this be a great blessing into their life. Also, may this be a blessing to the all in their family and also all our community and in the whole universe. So these blessings of Dhamma be upon you all for the benefit of this very life, here and even hereafter. Now we are going to start our Dhamma blessing program today. So please say Namo Tassa 3 times to observe the 5 precepts.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Sanඝaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Panatipata viramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kamesu micchācara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kamesu micchācara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Suramiraya majjapama dattana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Svarameraya majjapama dattana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are going to start our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, bringing our hearts and minds together. Let us pay our homage to the Buddha, joining from the temple. This is a great opportunity on this Saturday evening for all of us to practice very special part of our Dhamma practice. May these blessings be with you all your parents, all in the family. May all be well and happy. Bearing this in our heart, let us pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattā deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Buddhang jīvitāṃ yāva nibbāna saranam gacchāmi. Svakkhato bhagavatā dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehipansiko opanayiko paccattaṃ veditambo viñño. Dhammang jīvitāṃ yāva nibbānaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Ujjupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho. Nyāya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho. Sāmīci patipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho. යදිදං චත්තාරි
පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුංගලා
ඒස භගවතෝ
ශාවක සංඝෝ
ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ
දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ
අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං
ලෝකස්සාති
සංඝං ජීවිතං
යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
වන්දාමි චේතියං සබ්බං
සබ්බඨානේසු පතින්ඨිතං
ශාරීරික ධාතු
ධාතුමහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා
යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව
සම්බාරි විජයං
අකාපත්තෝ සබ්බං යුතං
සන්තා වන්දේ තං බෝධිපාදකං
ඉමේ ඒතේ මහා බෝධි
ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා
අහං පිතේ නමස්සාමි
බෝධි රාජා නමන්තුතේ
ධනසාරප්ප දිත්තේන
දීපේන තමදං
තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං
පූජයාමි තමුනුදං
ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන
දූපේනාහං සුගන්ධිනා
පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං
පූජාවාජන මුත්තමං
වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං
ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින්
පූජයාමි මුනිං දස්ස
සිරිපාද සරෝරුවේ
පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන
පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබාමි මොක්ඛම්
උප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ
කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භවං
සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං පසන්න මధుරං සුභං පානීය මේතං භගවා පතිගම්හතු උත්තම අදිවාසේතුනෝ භන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං
ඉමං
අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තම කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන
පමාදේන මයා කතං
අච්චයං කම මේ භන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන
පමාදේන මයා කතං
අච්චයං කම මේ ධම්ම
සන්දිට්ඨික
අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන
පමාදේන මයා කතං
අච්චයං කම මේ සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන
මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ
සතන් සමාගමෝ හෝතු
යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා
ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා
දේවානාගා මහින්దికා
පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ටා ච
බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා
නාගා
මහින්దికා ඉන්දිකා
පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා
චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං
ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා
දේවානාගා මහින්దికා
පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා
චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති
ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං
නං හෝතු සුඛිතා උන්තු ඥාතයෝ
ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු
ඥාතයෝ
සාදු සාදු සාදු. Now is the time for us to listen to the Dhamma. Today we will take first a few minutes in English Dhamma sermon and then we'll proceed into the Sinhala Dhamma sermon. After that we will also add some English Dhamma sermon to the end. So therefore first I would like to invite Reverend Dr. Dato Sumanasiri Nayaka Thera to deliver the first Dhamma reflection. Today we have a very special Dhamma title. Now first listen to the English Dhamma sermon, then Sinhala Dhamma sermon, followed by chanting of blessings, and then English Dhamma sermon, then we'll have the children's Dhamma sharing and some meditation. Now, as a form of invitation to listen to the Dhamma, please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, today in line with the session which is based on Vasala Sutta, who is an outcast, that means a bad person, a low person, and who is the high person, the proper person. And in that we have the stanza, Eka jangva dijangvapi yodapanang vihingsati yassapani dayanati tanjanya vasaloriti. What it said in Pali, I'm going to translate to you now. Whoever in this world harms living beings, beings who are born once or beings who are born twice. I will explain that later. And if there is no compassion to such living beings, that person who has no sympathy, no pity, no kindness is an outcast. That means, very interestingly, what the Buddha says here to Aggika Bharadwaja, the Brahmin, for his question about who is the outcast and who is the real Brahmin. That means the most best person. The Buddha transformed the word into a different meaning. The Brahmin, he says the Buddha is the enlightened person, an Arahant. The traditional way of explaining the Brahmin is one who is born to caste, the caste of the Brahmin. Buddha says that's just biological, but what is practical and real meaningful is the persons with great qualities. They are called the real Brahmins. And here the focus, Eka jangva dijangvapi. Some beings are once born and some beings are twice born. Here the focus is, that means those who are non-Brahmins, like we Buddhists who don't believe in caste system, who are not supposed to believe at all in caste system. And Dvijang means twice born. According to Indian tradition, a Brahmin is twice born. First born as a Brahmin to the parents, and when he comes to his adulthood, they put a string round his neck up to his body and calls him a real Dvija, twice born Brahmin. So that is why, whether you are Brahmin or not Brahmin, if you have no compassion, you are not an real pure person. You are without compassion. Everybody, once born or twice born, they are all outcasts. How interesting the Buddha made these changes. In ancient Indian society, the question was always asked, what is Dharma? Ko Dharma, Bhuta Daya. The compassion for all beings. But they don't emphasize much on the animals because they had animal sacrifices, which was part of the Brahmin tradition. But the Buddha came and said, to kill dumb and deaf animals who can't really talk and understand what we say is a very great sin, bad action, akusala. And in the Indian normal tradition, it was understood ahimsa paramo dharma, non-violence or not to kill animals is the greatest dharma. But they still kill animals for the sacrifices to their gods in their belief. So here it's very important what the Buddha says about compassion. That is the greatest quality. If people have compassion, then they are real Brahmins. That means they are real people who are following the Buddha's teachings. Now, interestingly, we have in Mahayana Buddhism, particularly in Tibetan Buddhism, the goddess of mercy. Mercy is also this compassion translated by technical people as mercy without saying compassion. The goddess of mercy is called Avalokiteshvara. One, the Lord who looks at the world with his compassion. Now it's called goddess in Chinese tradition and Mahayana tradition because the quality of compassion is more with the female side of the genders. So it is called goddess, and the figures also became goddess. These are all icons, statues which are made according to the concept. Now, very interestingly, what the Buddha says about, and he also practices, he is called the Mahakarunika. His compassion is not ordinary compassion, the great compassionate one. His Dhamma is not the ordinary Dhamma, the Sasana. It is called the Karuna Sasana. Sasana doesn't mean just the dispensation, but the advice also, the teachings. It has two meanings. One meaning is the community which upholds Buddhism, Sasana. The other is Sasana means a letter, a message, the teachings, the Dhamma. So therefore, it is one of the prime factors that makes him enlightened. That is why it is a paramita, a thing that is called perfections out of the 10 or 6 according to Mahayana Buddhism. These are twin aspects of every bodhisattva. And without that compassion and metta and loving kindness, you can't have all the others. So that is why Mettu Pekha Ime Dasa, the 10 paramitas end by Metta, Karuna, and Upekha. So therefore, the Buddha, he is great because of his compassionate teaching. So he emphasized such people who follow compassion, they are the real, pure, good people. Again in the Dhammapada, Diva Tapati Adityo, Ratting Abhati Chandima. The sun shines in the daytime. In the night, the moon shines. Sannaddo Kattiyo Tapati, Jayi Tapati Brahmano. It follows like that. The army soldier shines because what he is wearing. The ascetic, the sage who is in the jungle or forest or in an empty house, he shines not because of the other things, because of his meditation. The fire, Jayi Tapati Brahmana. But the Buddha, Atasabba Mahorating, From morning till night, the sun is only for the afternoon and the moon for the night. But the Buddha, unlike the sun and moon, more higher than him in that his light, the total morning, afternoon and night, he shines. Buddho tapati tejasa, he shines by his glory. Bright shineth the sun in its grandeur by day. By bright shineth the moon by its light. It goes like that, very beautiful. So therefore, students who want to be good Buddhists and also who wants to be bright, you need to have this quality of compassion to the others, to human beings and to animals as well. And may you follow the path of the great compassionate one, the Buddha. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We share our blessing and gratitude to Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumanasiri Nayakathera for making a reflection on the very important Dhamma title today, how we can value the life, how important to respect the life, and how dangerous it is to hurt, harm, disturb, or kill the life. So we're going to reflect a bit more later about that. Now it's time for us to listen to the Dhamma in Sinhala. This may take about 15 to 20 minutes, during which those who don't understand that can take the time to sit in meditation, in the contemplation that you are listening to the Dhamma is a form of meditation, which gives a lot of blessings. May I very kindly invite Most Venerable Dikwalle Sila Sumana Nayaka Thera to deliver the Dhamma sermon in Sinhala. As a form of invitation, please say Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. මේ වෙලාවේදී මා ඊටාම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා මේ ධර්ම දානමය පින්කමේ සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනකම පැවැත්වෙන ධර්ම දානමය පින්කමේ සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන්නටයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනයකම පැවැත්වෙන මේ උතුම් ධර්ම දානමය පින්කම ඔබටත් දායකත්වය ලබා ගනිමින් ඒ උතුම් කුසලයේ රැස් කර ගන්නට ඒ කුසල් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට ආශිර්වාද අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට පුළුවන්කම තිබෙනවා. අද දවසේ මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය දරන්නේ සුහාන්ත් සිං රාජ්පුත් මහත්මයාගේ වර්ෂ පූර්ණ පින්කම නිමිති කරගෙන එතුමාට පින් අනුමෝදන් කිරීම පිණිස මේ උතුම් ධර්ම දානමය පිනේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් එතුමාගේ සසර ගමන උතුම් චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය ධර්ම අවබෝධයෙන් ශ්‍රී සද්ධර්ම මාර්ගයේ ගමන් කරමින් සාංසාරික දුක් වලින් එතරව උතුම් අමා මහ නිවන් සුව පිණිසම වේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානය ඇති කරගෙන එවාගේ මේ පවුලේ සියලු දෙනා නමින් මිය පරලොව ගිය ඔබ සෑම දෙනා නමින් මිය පරලොව ගිය සියලු දෙනාටමත් එලෙසින්ම මේ පින උතුම් ධර්ම දානමය ආශිර්වාදයක් වේවා එවාගේම සුජීවත්ව සිටින පවුලේ සෑම දෙනාටමත් දායකත්වයේ දරන සෑම දෙනාටමත් ඔබ සම්බන්ධ වන මේ පින්කමට ඇහුම්කන් දෙන සෑම දෙනාටම තුනුරුවන්ගේ ආශිර්වාදය නිරෝගී භාවයේ සැලසේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානය ඇති කරගෙන අපි හැම දෙනාම ගෞරවයෙන් යුක්තව සද්ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණයට දහම් ශ්‍රවණයට සූදානම් වෙමු කවුරුත් සාදුකාරයක් පවත්වමින් ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමින් වහන්සේට සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන්නට ආරාධනා කරමි සාදු සාදු සාදු
නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ඒකජං වා ද්විජං වාපි යෝදපානං විහිංසති යස්ස පානේ දයානත්තේ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති. ගෞරවනීය හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ, දෑබර දූ දරුවනි, දෙමාපියනි, මේ වසල සූත්‍රයේ නියමිත ගාථා ධර්මය මා මාතෘකා කළේ. ඒ ගාථා ධර්මයෙන් කියවෙන කෙටි අදහස තමයි සත්ව හිංසනයේ යෙදෙන, ඒ වගේම සත්වයා කෙරෙහි දයානුකම්පාවක් නැති තැනැත්තා වසලයෙක් කියන එක. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දේශනා කළ තියෙනවා හිංසනය කියන එක මෙලොව පරලොව දෙකේදීම දුක් සහිත විපාක දෙන පාපයක් ඇටියට. හිංසනයෙන් තොරව සියලු දෙනාටම කරුණාව දයාව දැක්වීම මෙලොව පරලොව දෙකේදීම සැප විපාක පිණිස හේතු වන බව තමයි ධර්මයේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. අපේ සිත් තුළ නිතර මෛත්‍රිය වැඩිම හිංසනයෙන් වැළකීමට හේතුවක් වෙන බව තමයි අපිට ධර්මානුකූලව කල්පනා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. සබ්බේ සත්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතත්තා, සියලුම සත්වයෝ සැපවත් වූ ජීවිත ඇත්තෝ වෙත්වා කියන මේ මෛත්‍රිය වඩනවා නම් බුදුහාමුදුරුව අපට කරපු ඒ අවවාදය, ඒ බුදුදහමේ එන සත්ව හිතවාදී ආකල්පය කොයිතරම්ද කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. බෞද්ධයන් හැටියට හිංසනය සඳහා වන පොළොමුගුරු, කැටකැබිලිති, අවිආයුධ ආදීන් වැළකෙන්නට කියන එක තමයි අපට අනුශාසනා කළ තියෙන්නේ. අප නිරායුධ වෙලා බිය කිරීම, හිංසා ඝාතන ආදීන් වැළකීලා මුළු මහත් ලෝකයටම හිතවත්ව මම ක්‍රියා කරනවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානයක් ඇති කර ගන්නට ඕන. බුදුදහමේ දැක්වෙන ඒ ජීව හිතවාදී ආකල්පයේ ඊටම පුළුල් එකක්. සීල ප්‍රතිඥාවේදී ප්‍රාණඝාතයෙන් වැළකීලා සියලු සත්වයන්ගේ ජීවිත ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට කටයුතු කිරීම තමයි, ඒ ශික්ෂණයෙන් ඒක ආරම්භ කිරීම තමයි සීලය තුල දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. අපා දෙපා සිව්පා බහුපා වශයෙන් මේ සත්‍යයන් වර්ග කරලා තියෙනවා. ඊට අයත් වෙන්නේ නැති කිසිම සත්‍යයක් මේ ලෝකේ නැතයි කියන එක අපට පේනවා. ඒ සියලු දෙනාටම මෛත්‍රිය වඩන්නට ඕන බවත්, එහෙම කරනකොට Tamanට මෙලොව ආරක්ෂාව සැලසෙන බව තමයි බුදුදහමින් උගන්වලා තියෙන්නේ. සබ්බේ සත්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතත්තා කියන මේ දේශනාව තුළින් සියලුම සත්ව හිතවාදී බෞද්ධ දැක්ම මනවින් ප්‍රකාශ වෙනවා. සියලුම සත්වයන් කෙරෙහි පැතිරිච්ච මහා කරුණාව බුද්ධත්වයේ තියෙන ප්‍රමුඛ ලක්ෂණයක් ලෙස දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක චරිතායනය කරමින් සත්ව හිතවාදී ජීවිතයක් ගොඩනගා ගන්නට අපි උත්සාහ කරන්නට ඕන. පංචශීලයේ උගන්වන ඒ වැරදි චර්යාවන් පහක් පංචශීලය තුල උගන්වනවා. පංච බය වේර චේතනා නමින් ඒව හඳුන්වලා තියෙනවා. පංච බය වේර සූත්‍රයේත් ඒක දක්වලා තියෙනවා. මෙලොවත් පරලොවත් ඒ බය සහ වෛරය මේ පහෙන් ඇති වෙන නිසා මේ ආකාරයෙන් හඳුන්වලා තියෙනවා. ඒක විවිධ දුක්ඛ දෝමනස්යන්ට හේතු වෙනවා. මේ පන්සිල් කඩ කරන පුජ්‍යලයාට ප්‍රධාන කරුණු දෙකක් සිද්ධ වෙන බව ඒ දීඝනිකායේ අග්ගඤ්ඤ සූත්‍රයේ පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙනවා. මේ කරුණු දෙක ලෙස දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ මිනිසාගේ නයිසර්ගිකව පවත්නා නැත්නම් උපතින්ම පවත්නා ස්වභාවයත් ඒ වගේම නැති බැරිකමත් කියන මේ කරුණු දෙක තමයි පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ කරුණු දෙක නිසා මිනිසා පස්පව් සිදු කරමින් සංසාර දුකටපත් වෙන බව තමයි මේ සූත්‍ර දේශනාවෙන් පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මිනිස් సంతානය තුල ස්වභාවයෙන්ම ක්‍රෝධය, වෛරය, ද්වේෂය කියන එක හට ගන්නවා. ඒවා යටපත් කරලා මිනිස් සිතේ මෛත්‍රිය, කරුණාව ප්‍රගුණ කළොත් ඒක පංචශීලයේ ආරක්ෂා කිරීමට මගක් හැටියටයි දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රතිපත්තියෙන් වැළකීමත් සමාදානයත් කියන දෙකම අන්තර්ගත වෙනවා මේ පංචශීලයේ තුල. මේට අතිරේකව මේ පංචශීලයේ එක් ශික්ෂා පදයන් වලින් ප්‍රකාශ වෙන පරමාර්ථ ඒ පුජ්‍යලයාට සමාජමය වශයෙන් ඒවා වෙන් කළ ප්‍රභේද කළ දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. පංචශීලයේ තියෙන පළවෙනි ශික්ෂා පදේ තමයි ජීවත් වීමේ අයිතිය ප්‍රකාශ කිරීම. පාණාතිපාතා කියලා කියන්නේ ජීවත් වීමේ අයිතිය. ඒ බුදුදහමේ ජීව ලෝකය ගැන දක්වනකොට සත්ව, ශාක, මනුෂ්‍ය වශයෙන් කොටස් තුනකට බෙදලා තියෙනවා. මේ සියලුම සත්වයන් කෙරෙහි දයාව, කරුණාව, මෛත්‍රිය දැක්විය යුතු බව තමයි බුදුදහමේ උගන්වලා තියෙන්නේ. පංචශීලයේ තවත් වැදගත් අංශ දෙකක් අන්තර්ගත වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා තමයි එක් ශික්ෂා පදවල වේරමණී කියන පදයක්, ඒ වගේම සමාදියාමි කියන පදයක් වචන දෙකක් වශයෙන් දැක්වුවට ඒකේ අර්ථ දෙකක් වශයෙන්ම අපිට දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. එකක් තමයි විරති සික්ඛා කියන එක. අනිත් එක තමයි සමාදාන සික්ඛා කියලා කියන්නේ. වරදින් වැළකීම තමයි විරති සික්ඛා කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ වගේම කුසලයේ යෙදීම සමාදාන සික්ඛා කියන ගණයට අයත් වෙනවා. පංචශීලයේ පළමු ශික්ෂා පදයෙන් සත්ව ඝාතනයෙන් වැළකීලා විරති සික්ඛා ගණයට ඒ කුසලයේ යෙදීම සමාදාන සික්ඛා ගණයට අයත් වෙනවා. පංචශීලයේ ඒ පළමු ශික්ෂා පදයෙන් සත්ව ඝාතනයෙන් වැළකීම කියන විරතිය ඒකෙන් ප්‍රකාශ වෙන බව අපිට පැහැදිලි. සතුන්ට මෛත්‍රිය, කරුණාව පතුරවලා අවියාවිද දඬු මුගුරු වලින් ඉවත් වෙලා ක්‍රියාත්මක විය යුතු බව තමයි මේ ශික්ෂා පදයෙන් අපට උගන්වන්නේ. ඒක සමාදානයේ ලෙස දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ අනුව ඒ පංචශීලයේ මුලින්ම දැක්වෙන පාණාතිපාතා වේරමණී කියන ශික්ෂා පදය තුලින් පරපණ නැසීමෙන් වැළකී සිටීමේ ශික්ෂා පදය දිනපතාම මෙනෙහි කිරීම ඉතාම වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඒ සටන වෙනුවට සාමය ඇති කිරීමෙන් හිතේ ඇති වෙන සමාධිය ගැන ධම්මපදයේ මනා ලෙස විවරණය කරලා තියෙනවා. සටනකදී මිනිසුන් මරා දමලා ජයග්‍රහණය කෙරුවත් ඒක ජයග්‍රහණයක් නොවන බවත්, සැබෑ ජයග්‍රහණය කියලා කියන්නේ තමා ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීම බව බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ පැහැදිලිව දක්වලා තියෙනවා. වෛරයෙන් වෛරය නොසන්සිඳෙන්නේ කියන මේ අදහස වගේම අවෛරයෙන් වෛරය නැති කරලා මෛත්‍රී චින්තනයෙන් සාමය ඇති කරගන්නට හැකි බව තමයි උගන්වලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ ලෝකයේ සියලු දෙනාම දඬුවමට මරණයට බිය වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ යථාර්ථය නැත්තම් සැබෑ තත්ත්වය තුල පිහිටලා ආත්ම දමනය ඇති කරගෙන තමා විසින්ම තමන් පාලනය කර ගැනීමෙන් මුළු මහත් මානව සමාජය තුළටම මේ සාමය ඇති කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක තමයි අපට දෙන පණිවිඩය. ලෝකේ ඊටාම අසියුරු දේ තමයි තමන් විසින් තමන් දමනය කර ගැනීම. කළ යුතු වන්නේ අමාරුවෙන් හරි තමන් දමනය වෙලා අනුන් දමනය කරන්නට යාම. අන්‍යයන්ට අවවාද අනුශාසනා දෙන්නට පෙර ආතුව තමන් ඒ තුල පිහිටා සිටින්නට ඕන. ක්‍රෝධ කරන පුජ්‍යලයා මෛත්‍රියෙන් ජයගත යුතු බව තමයි ධර්මයෙන් ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම අසත්පුරුෂයා සත්පුරුෂ කමිනුත් මසුරු පුජ්‍යලයා ත්‍යාගේනුත් පරිත්‍යාගේනුත් බොරු කියන පුජ්‍යලයා සත්‍යේනුත් ජය ගන්නා බව තමයි ධර්මයේ උගන්වන්නේ. මේ මිනිසුන්ගේ හිත තුළ සාමය නැතිවීමට වෛරය, ක්‍රෝධය, තණ්හාව හේතු වන බව තමයි මේ ධර්මයේ තුල පැහැදිලි වශයෙන්ම දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා එවැනි නපුරු සිතුවිලි උදුරා දමලා කටයුතු කිරීමෙන් තමයි සාමය කියන එක ගොඩනගා ගන්න පුළුවන් වන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මනුෂ්‍ය සංතානයේ මෛත්‍රිය, කරුණාව, ඉවසීම වර්ධනය කරගෙන දෙලොවටම වැඩදායක ජීවිතයක් ගත කරන්නට අපි අදිෂ්ඨාන කරගත යුතුයි. හැම දිනාටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
සාදු සාදු සාදු. ඒ උතුම් ධර්මානුශාසනාව අප කෙරෙහි අනුකම්පාවෙන් පවත්වමින් ඊතා වටිනා ධර්ම කරුණු අපේ ජීවිතයට ගලපා ගන්නට අද දවසේ නියමිත ධර්ම මාතෘකාවත් සමග ඊතාම වටිනා කරුණු කොහොමද අපේ සීලය ආරක්ෂා කරගෙන ප්‍රථම සීලය පළමු කොටස වන ජීවිතය පිළිබඳව වටිනාකමක් ඇති කර ගැනීම පිළිබඳ විග්‍රහ කරමින් අනුශාසනාවක් වත්තු අති ගෞරවනීය දික්වැල්ලේ සීල සුමන හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට අපි සෙත් පතනවා, ආශිර්වාද කරනවා. අනුකම්පාවෙන් අප කෙරෙහි මේ අනුශාසනාව පවත්වීම සම්බන්ධව කවුරුත් ආශිර්වාද කිරීමක් වශයෙන් සාදුකාරයක් පවත්වන්න. සාදු සාදු සාදු. Now we are going to do some few minutes chanting of blessings. Set Pirit Deshanava. As we are going through a series of Dhamma talks based on Vasala Sutta, this is a very powerful, very interesting discourse. I think if you get more opportunity to go through this more detailed Dhamma series, you would highly benefit from this. This comes in the Mahapirit Pota, Book of Protection. It is a protection stanza. I encourage you every week, learn by heart this Gatha, one by one. That would be a great protection blessing. That is why it comes into the Mahapirit Pota, Great Book of Protection. So today, do join chanting this Vasala Sutta alongside some set Pirit, the blessing chant. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evaṁ me sutaṁ ekam samayam bhagavā sāvat තියං විහෙරති ජේතවනේ අනාථ පින්ඩිකස්ස ආරාමේ අතකෝ භගවා පුම්බන්න සමයං නිවාපෙත්වා පත්ත චීවර මාදාය සාවත්තියං පින්ඩාය පාවිසේ තේනකෝ පන සමයේන අග්ගික වාරද්වාජස්ස බ්‍රාහ්මනස්ස නිවේසනේ අත්ති පංජලිතෝ හෝති ආහුති පග්ගහිතා අතකෝ භගවා සාවත්තියං සපදානං පින්ඩාය චරමානෝ යේන අග්ගික වාරද්වාජස්ස බ්‍රාහ්මනස්ස නිවේසනං තේ දුපසංකමී අද්දසාකෝ අග්ගික වාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ භගවන්තං දුරතෝව ආගච්ඡන්තං විස්වාන භගවන්තං ඒතදෝච තත්‍රේව මුණ්ඩක තත්‍රේව සමනක තත්‍රේව වසලක තිට්ඨාහිති එවං බුත්තේ භගවා අග්ගික වාරද්වාජං බ්‍රාහ්මනං ඒතදෝච ජානාසි පනත්වං බ්‍රාහ්මන වසලං වා වසල කරණේ වා ධම්මේති නක්වාහං භෝගෝතම ජානාමි වසලං වා වසල කරණේ වා ධම්මේ සාදු මේ භවං ගෝතම තථා ධම්මං වසල කරණේ වා ධම්මේ සාදු මේ භවං ගෝතමෝ තථා ධම්මං දේසේතු යතාහං ඥානෙයං වසලං වා වසල කරණී වා ධම්මේති තේනහි බ්‍රාහ්මන සුනාහි සාදුකං මනසි කරෝහි පාසිස්සාමිති එවං හෝතිකෝ අග්ගික වාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ භගවතෝ පච්චස්සෝ සුම්භගවා ඒතදවෝච කෝදනෝ උපනාහිච පාපමක්ඛීච යෝනරෝ විප්පන්න දිට්ඨි මායාවී තංජඤ්ඤාවස ඒකජං වා ද්විජං වා පියෝදපානානි හිංසති තස්ස පානේ දයානන්ති තංජඤ්ඤාවසලෝ ඉති යෝහන්ති පරරුන්දති ගාමානි නිගමානිච නිග්ගාහකෝ සමඤ්ඤාතෝ තංජඤ්ඤාවසලෝ ඉති ගාමේවා යතිවා රඤ්ඤේ අම්පරේ සම්මමායිතං තියා අතින්නං ආදියති තංජඤ්ඤාවසලෝ ඉති යෝහවේ ඉනමාදාය චුක්ඛමානෝ පලායති නහිදේ ඉනමත්තිති තංජඤ්ඤාවසලෝ ඉති යෝචේ කිංචික් මම්යතා පන්තස්මින් වජතං ජනං හන්त्वा කිංචික්ක මාදේති තංජඤ්ඤාවසෝ ඉති යෝ අත්ත හේතු පර හේතු ධන හේතු චයෝ නරෝ සක්ති පුට්ටෝ මුසා බ්‍රූති තංජඤ්ඤාවසෝ ඉති යෝ ඥාතිනං සකානං වාදාරේ සුපති දිස්සති සහසා සම්පියේන වා තංජඤ්ඤාවසෝ ඉති යෝ මාතරං වා පිතරං වා ජින්නකං ගත යොබ්බනං පෞසන්තෝන භරති තම් පරාභව තංජඤ්ඤාවසලෝ ඉති යෝ මාතරං වා පිතරං වා බාතරං භගිනින් සයොං හන්තිරෝසේති වාචාය තංජඤ්ඤාවසෝ ඉති යෝ අත්ත අත්තං පුච්චිතෝ සන්තෝ අනත්ත මනුසාසති පටිච්චන්නේන මන්තේති තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝකත්වා පාපකං ධම්මං මාමං ජඤ්ඤාති ඉච්ඡති යෝ පටිච්චන්න කම්මන්තෝ තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ වේ පරකුලං ගන්්වා බුද්ධාන සුවිභෝජනං ආගතන්න පටිපූජේති තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ බ්‍රහ්මනං වා සමනං වා අඤ්ඤං වාපි වනිබ්බකං මුසාවාදේන වංචේති තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ බ්‍රහ්මනං වා සමනං වා බත්ත කාලේ උපට්ඨිතේ රෝසේති වාචානච දේති තංජඤ්ඤාවස අසතං යෝද පබ්‍රූති මෝහෙන පලිකුංචිතෝ කිංචික්ඛං නිච්චිකිස්සානෝ තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ චත්තානං සමුක්ඛංසේ පරංච මවජානති නිහිනෝ සේන මානේන තංජඤ්ඤාවස රෝසකෝ කදරියෝ ච පාපිච්චෝ මච්චරී සටෝ අහිරිකෝ අනොත්තප්පි තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ බුද්ධං පරිභාසති අතවා තස්ස ශාවකං පරිබ්බාජං කහට්ටං වා තංජඤ්ඤාවස යෝ හවේ අනරහා සන්තෝ අරහං පටිජානති චෝරෝ සම්බ්‍රහ්මකේ ලෝකේ ඒසකෝ වසලාදමු ඒතේ කෝ වසලා බුත්තා මයාවෝ යේ පකාසිතාන චජ්ජාවසලෝ නජජ්ජා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ කම්මනාවසලෝ හෝති කම්මනා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ තදම්නාපි විජානාත යතාමේදං නිදස්සනං චණ්ඩාල පුත්තෝ සෝපාකෝ මාතංගෝ ඉති විස්සුතෝ සෝත්‍යසං පරමං පත්තෝ මාතංගෝ යං සුදුල්ලබං ආගඤ්ඤුන් තස්සු බණ්ඩානං කත්තියා බ්‍රාහ්මනා බවෝ සෝ දේවයාන මාරුය්‍ය විරජං සෝ මහපතං කාමරාගං විරාජෙත්වා බ්‍රහ්මලෝ උපගෝ අහෝ අනං ජාති නිවාරේසි බ්‍රහ්මලෝකුප්පපත්තියා අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බ්‍රාහ්මනා මත්ත බන්දුනෝ තේච පාපේසු කම්මේසු අභින්න මුපදිස්සරේ දිත්තේව ධම්මේ ගාරය්‍යා සම්පරායේච දුක්ගතින් නතේ ජාති නිවාරේති දුක්ඛච්ඡා ගරහාය වාන චජ්ජා වසලෝති ජච්ඡාෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ කම්මනා වසලෝ හෝති කම්මනා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ එවං වුත්තේ අග්ගික බාරත්වාජෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ භගවන්තං ඒතද අභික්ඛන්තං භෝගෝතම අභික්ඛන්තං භෝගෝතම සේයතාපි භෝගෝතම නික්කුජ්ජිතං වා උක්කුජ්ජේය පටිච්චන්නං වා විවරේය මුල්ලස්සං වා මග්ගං ආචික්කේය අන්ධකාරේ වා තේලපච්චෝ තන්දාරේය චක්කුමන්තෝ රූපානි දක්ඛ Titi evaං gota gotamena aneka pariyayena Dhammo pakasito esam bhagavantaṃ gotamam saranaṃ gacchāmi Dhammaṃ ca bhikkhu saṅgaṃ ca upāsakaṃ maṃ bhavaṃ gotamo dharetu acca panupetaṃ saranam gatanti etena sacca vajjena sottite hotu sabbada etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinassatu etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya siriditi mati tejo jaya siddhi mahiddhi mahagunaṃ aparimita puññādhikārassa sambantārāya nivarana samattassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa dattiṃsa mahapurisa lakkhanānubhāvena asītyānubhyanjana lakkhanānubhāvena attuntara satamangala lakkhanānubhāvena cabbanna ransyanuභාවේන කේතුමාලානුභාවේන දස පාරමිතානුභාවේන දස උපපාරමිතානුභාවේන දස පරමත්ත පාරමිතානුභාවේන සීල සමාධි පඤ්ඤානුභාවේන බුද්ධානුභාවේන ධම්මානුභාවේන සංඝානුභාවේන තේජානුභාවේන ඉද්‍යානුභාවේන බලානුභාවේන නිය්‍ය ධම්මානුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මස්කන්ධානුභාවේන නවලෝකෝත්තර ධම්මානුභාවේන අට්ඨංගික මග්ගානුභාවේන අට්ඨ සමාපත්ත්‍යානුභාවේන ඵල විඥානුභාවේන මෙත්තා කරුණා මුදිතා උපේක්ඛානුභාවේන සබ්බ පාරමිතානුභාවේන රතනත්ථය සරණානුභාවේන තුයිහං සබ්බ රෝග ශෝක උපද්දව දුක්ඛ දෝමනස්සු පායාසා විනස්සන්තු සබ්බ සංකප්පා තුයිහං සමිජ්ජන්තු දීඝායුකෝ හෝතු සතවස්ස ජීවේන සමන්ගිකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා ආකාශ පම්බත වන භූමි තටාක ගංගා මහා සමුද්ද ආරක්කක දේවතා සදා තුම්හි අනුරක්කන්තු සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන බුද්ධ රතනං ධම්ම රතනං සංඝ රතනං තින්නං රතනානං ආනුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මස්කන්ධානුභාවේන පිටකත්ථයානුභාවේන දින ශාවකානුභාවේන සබ්බේතේ රෝගා සබ්බේතේ භයා සබ්බේතේ අන්තරායා සබ්බේතේ උපද්දවා සබ්බේතේ තුන්නිමිත්තා සබ්බේතේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයු වඩ්ඩකෝ ධන වඩ්ඩකෝ සිරි වඩ්ඩකෝ යස වඩ්ඩකෝ බල වඩ්ඩකෝ වන්න වඩ්ඩකෝ සුඛ වඩ්ඩකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භය වේරා සෝකා සබ්බේ පද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායාපි විනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති වාග්යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝ ච භෝගං බුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සා ච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු භවන්තු තේ සම්පීතියෝ විවංජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවන්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ නක්ඛත් යක්ඛ භූතානං පාපංගා නිවාරණා පරිත්තස්සානුභාවේන හන්තු තේ සම්උපද්දවේ දේවෝ වස්සතු කාලේන සස්ස සම්පත්ති හේතුච පීතෝ භවතු කෝච රාජා භවතු ධම්මිකෝ. සාදු සාදු සාදු. සියලු දෙනාට තෙරුවන් සරණයි. සියලු ආරක්ෂාව නිරෝගී භාවය සැලසේවා. Wish you all good health, protection, longevity and all the progress in your every aspiration in your everyday life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are moving into spend few minutes in the reflection Dhamma reflection in English. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, supremely enlightened Lord Buddha. Ekajangva vijangvapi yodapanan vihingsati yassa pane dayanatti tanjanya vasaloiti. Dear friends in the Dhamma, today our Dhamma title, Dhamma subject is the second gatha or the verse stanza of the discourse on outcast, Vasala Sutta. This discourse is also being named as Aggika Bharadwaja Sutta. So both names, they say the same discourse. So this discourse has two different names. Aggika Bharadwaja Sutta, because that was delivered to that Brahmin, spiritual person called Aggika Bharadwaja. Therefore it is called Aggika Bharadwaja Sutta. Also it is called Vasala Sutta because he abused verbally Lord Buddha, saying outcast, Vasalaya. Then Buddha asked very patiently, very calmly, without insulting, even not challenging, does he know the meaning of that word, outcast, Vasalaya? Then he said no. If the Blessed One can explain, he was willing to give the ear. He was willing to listen to it. Then Buddha explained in 27 gathas 33 factors that can qualify a person to be an outcast. That all these 33 certain behaviors would translate the person's behavior into an outcast. Not by birth. It is by our behavior, way of life. So normally in this beautiful discourse, I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to learn this noble Dhamma, at least drop by drop. So this particular discourse, Buddha was in the day setting 4 arms round and he went from house to house. He can't really skip one house and go to another house. He can't have a choice because he needs to be compassionate to all. When he approached to this particular house in a line, that gentleman was a spiritual person, highly practicing, different religion. That religion was to put a fire and pray, chant for that. Everything was set in his house, and he saw this Buddha outside standing, holding a bowl for food. He thought it is a very negative side, bad sign, because he was just all ready for the spiritual practice, for blessings, and this person standing. He got very angry and shouting, just stop the bald-headed monk, and all these words were used. But unbelievably, Buddha was not even showing a very upsetting impression. How calm, how kind, how peaceful he was within, that he did not take any word, any negative word, any bad word to make him angry or upset. This is a great example for all of us to learn. If somebody says something, that we should be able to listen to that and let it go without letting it to cause and harm into ourselves. If that is useful, of course we can take it. If that is not what it represent yourself, you can let it go. But as a greatest spiritual teacher, Buddha was explaining that. And today we are explaining the second gatha of that. In that second gatha is a very beautiful gatha. I think you need to learn it by heart and repeat day and day out. It's a powerful gatha, lot of Dhamma, because the most powerful thing in life is life. If someone respect the life, that you count a lot of blessing. If someone disturb the life, then you are getting a serious problem from the universe. So this particular gatha explain, if someone has no sympathy, compassion, or consideration for the life of other living beings and harm them or kill them by any means, it is an immoral for the worst kind that will bring harmful consequences both in this life and future lives. The first of the 5 precepts of morality, called Pancha Sila, in the Buddhist moral behavior called Sila, is to abstain or refrain from killing any living beings. Through killing a living being, one is also committing the first of the 10 unwholesome actions, Dasa Akusal, the first one. Here it says, Eka Janva Dvijanvapi. So what does this mean? Once born or twice born? Normally, in the species, beings, there are human beings, there are animals, there are trees and other things. But among those species, particularly human beings and the animals are being called sentient beings. So they are really, because they have a mind or they have an intentional aspect. Rather than inanimate beings, inanimate objects, animate objects, they are also moving. I will explain that little bit, the difference, how you can identify a being that goes into this particular category called harming or killing. Ekajan means there are some beings born once, like human beings, you are just born. Whereas some others, like birds, they put the eggs. That's the first birth. Then from that egg, that bird comes out, that's the second birth, Dvijanvapi. The reptiles or some of the species are being born twice. That's the refers to the birds and reptiles that are born twice. First as an egg, then the emergence from the egg into this world. Also, another meaning, like a monk, we had a different life before I become a monk. Then when I become a monk, I change my name. I have a different life. So that's a different birth. You can say like that as well. Like born again, some people says. And the Venerable Angulimala, who became an Arahant, and he made an asseveration called Satyakriya by visiting a patient. In this very life, I was born into a monk Arahant life. I did not hurt, harm any living beings. With the truth of that, so he was referring to this particular birth as the second birth. In the previous life, he was a serial killer. But in this life, he was not hurting or harming or killing any living beings. So that is what it means. There are two different lives some species has. Here, the particular thing is called that respecting, valuing the life. Particularly, the Buddhist precepts comes a very important role here. Panati pata veramani sikkapadan samadhiyami. That is the first precepts we reflect on. Here, panati pata is derived from the word pana and atipata. Pana means being or life, and atipata means end rapidly. So panatipata means cause an end to a being or a life rapidly. Cause an end to a being or life rapidly. In short, this means killing. Generally, a being is a living creature. For example, human, animal, plant, and microorganism. They have their own life. However, in Buddhism, a being has the following characteristics: mind and sentient, needs of nutrition, moving to anywhere, do an activity, be seen by naked eyes. According to those 5 points mentioned here, plant and microorganism can't fulfill those points because plant doesn't have mind and sentient, and it can't move to anywhere. Microorganism like bacteria can't be seen by naked eye. So therefore, they can't really call beings in Buddhist related teachings. That doesn't come under the real first precepts. The beings are here only human and animals, because they have mind, they have sentient, and they can move from one place to another. Also, they can be seen by naked eyes. So they qualify all that 5 categories. Therefore, we can call human and animals are sentient beings. If you kill a sentient being, then your action is called killing. However, your action can't be always as said as violating the first precepts, because there are 5 factors that ensure whether you have violated the first precepts. What are those 5? You need to understand there is a sentient being. The second, that sentient beings you need to make sure that alive. The third, you need to make a kind of an intention, thought to kill that sentient beings. The fourth, you need to make a structure or method or way to kill that sentient beings. And finally, the fifth, as a result, that sentient beings should be killed. So therefore, these 5 things are completed, then you can call it's a killing. There are 6 ways in which these killings can take place. For example, one's hand, own hand, by instigation, by missiles, by slow poisoning, by sorcery, by psychic powers. So the Buddhist teachings explain two different ways that somebody can exercise this action. For example, in very short, for make a killing, you need to have the intention, you need to have the motivation and the actions or methods, and then to really exercise it and kill. Then you can come into the category of killing. This is slightly different to the Western legal system. For example, if it is possible to violate the first precept without killing, even if there is a strong intention. For example, self-defense, and by accident, somebody may do, but it still has a somewhat karmic effect, and you are not fully come into the situation of that killing. Then if you kill the sentient beings with the 5 points, you officially violated that precept, the first precept. So therefore, when we think of killing in Buddhism, it is a very important, very strong karma. Karma can be action, karma can be work, karma can be deed, based on the intention and the desire. So therefore, those who done the good actions, they bear the good results. Those who have done the bad actions, they have to experience the bad actions. For example, there was once a Brahmin. He wanted to offer an animal to the god. So the person brought the animal, and then this Brahman, the spiritual person, said, it's not proper to offer like this. Go and give a good bath to this animal, and let us do the offering by that way. So the person brought that animal to wash, give a bath. Once that animal got the bath, animal start really joyful, jumping, running, very happy. And soon after that, the animal started crying. Then this person was shocked and asked, why you once smile and jump and laugh and then crying? Then he said, this is my last time to get killed, because I did a very bad karma in my previous life. As a result, I got killed 500 times. 500 times. For example, he killed only one time. As a consequence, bad karma, you get multiple times of that. So then he asked, why you are crying? This animal said, I am very sorry, because the person who is going to kill me would end up being the same. So when you put a one seed, is getting thousands of rice. Likewise, if you may do a one killing, but the results can be very bad. So therefore, killing is a very bad karma, because that Buddhist law of cause and effect very clearly says it is an immoral thing that cause the problems in here and even hereafter. There are particularly 5 very bad actions of killing that the person will go into Avicii, hell, instantly. Those are called killing father, killing mother, killing Arahant, injure a Buddha, segregate the Sangha. Those are very bad things. Whereas when we think of animals, they are not that much when you kill an human beings, because human being has a greater qualities, greater potentials. Your bad karma is also very powerful. Whereas when you kill an animal, then that is not the same as an human being, but still it is very powerful. It is very bad karma. What are the effects of bad karma of killing? The person will in this life have a lot of fear, anxiousness, shame. Also, he would experience disassociated from the society. Nobody will respect. Potential suffering of or getting sick. And also at the time of near death, this person will go into lot of difficulties. Next thing here, in addition to the killing, hurting or torturing, that doesn't come under the first precepts. But still, in this discourse, in this Gatha, it explains, if someone has no empathy or sympathy towards and beings, that is a very bad thing. Because everyone like to live to their fullest. Live and let live, we say. You know, sometimes for certain reasons like pest control, abortion, euthanasia, capital punishments, there are things like that. According to the Buddhist, certain things can be in a way of utilitarian way. That means for the benefit of others, certain things can be okay, but still we have a great responsibility of this factor. So therefore, in very brief, what Buddha said is, if you don't want to be killed, nobody wants it, then don't kill other sentient beings. If you don't want to be tortured, then don't torture other sentient beings. Treat not others in a ways that you yourself would find hurtful. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Actually, the antidote for this is to take the precepts, the first precepts. Why? We normally take this the first precept or 5 precepts repeatedly. Some people argue saying that when you take once is okay. The reason, this is a Sila Anusati kind of a meditation. Buddha said that to take it over and over again and refresh it. The reason for someone to do a thing like killing, hurting, disturbing doesn't take long. It's just a millisecond that person's minds can go wrong and do that. But when you are repeatedly recollecting, taking the precepts, when you happen to do that, it comes and stop you doing that. That is the power of Sila. That is the power of taking these precepts. And in addition, what we need to do is to develop all the time loving kindness, metta. If you read the benefits of metta, loving kindness practice, is a very powerful healing here and even hereafter. As I said, that the person who kills at the time of death, in addition to all the suffering goes through during the life, suffers a lot. There is a professor in Sri Lanka did a research. He went and researched about the butchers who kill animals. And he took a lot of stories, case studies, to look into the people who were dying, those butchers. And he came in his book, you can read that Professor Nandasena Ratnapala, Professor Nandasena Ratnapala, he says, all these butchers died so like an animal dies, screaming, suffering, and therefore when you do that, karana kalata pau miriya mise, vindina kalata duk dadi veginise. So when you kill or hurt, you enjoy. You know, sometimes even for animals, some people give a lot of torture. You enjoy. But when the results comes in, then you would have a great pain. Therefore, this is a great Dhamma. Those who do not abide by this first precept, abide by these principles of the second stanza, as Buddha said, this ekajangva dvijangvapi yoda panan vihinsati tassa pane dayanatti tanjanya vasalohiti. If somebody does not have any compassion for any living beings, that person's life in the samsara is very long, and therefore there is no exit. So therefore, don't take any life, don't kill any living beings, and even to support in indirect way. There are direct ways. I explained the direct ways of killing. There are some indirect ways also. People sometimes kill other people, which is very, very bad karma. Therefore, when you do that, we call abhedana. That means sila means the opposite of killing. That gets strong merits and blessings. So therefore, may you have the courage, strength, and understanding to practice more and gain the highest benefit of this very life. May those blessings be with the sponsors of the day today. Especially, they would like to transfer the merits to Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput on his first anniversary. May he have the blessings of the Dhamma and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May the blessings be with the sponsor family, and they are all, may they also equally be benefited and have the protection of the Dhamma to progress in the Dhamma. May every one of us have the same blessings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for listening. Now I will pass on the opportunity to our Rasikaya to go ahead with the Dhamma school program with our children.
Good evening, everyone. We learned the second gatha from Vasala Sutta today, which is, as according to Hamduru, it's really, really important for us as adults as well as children. So the bottom line of that gatha, the meaning is, do not harm any living beings, or do not violate the first precept that we used to say almost every day. Nayak Hamdru said that we need to remind this precept almost every day. When you say Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami, think about the details underneath the meaning of this precept. You learned a lot today from Hamduru. And Nayak Hamduru also said the importance of developing compassion, loving and kindness, which will develop a particular quality in you as children, so that you can treat others the way you like to be treated. And if you can't see others as you are, then obviously you will be doing some unwholesome activities, such as hurting others, killing animals, telling lies, stealing, etc. So I thought it's really, really important in our day-to-day life to practice this first precept with a great meaning. And I would wish all our Hamaduru in the temple for giving us this Dhammadana to all of us, children and the parents. And I wish all Hamaduru good health and happiness. Teran Sarai. Right, so it is for us time to move on to the homework. We learned the first gatha from Vasala Sutta last week, and it's time for you to reflect your understanding on that gatha. So I wouldn't take much time and pass on to the first person, Rayon. Rayon, you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. In the Vasala Sutta, Lord Buddha discovered how to identify and the feature of an outcast. Today we are learning the first Gava of Kundana Upanahicha. It said, whosoever is angry, harbors hatred, speaks ill of others, holds wrong view, and distasteful is an outcast. In here mainly described in anyone easily getting angry or he expecting and wishing to become bad things to others. They may not be not getting any benefit from these expectations become true, but their minds full of this kind of hate ideas and jealousy. The other feature is someone speaks bad and ill things about others. They can't admire others' good qualities, always an outcast view that in a bad way. So Lord Buddha taught us keep out of these features from our life, and if anyone having these kind of qualities, we need to identify him as an outcast.
Thank you, Rayanaya. I would like to explain the meaning of the first kata of Vasala Sutta. Who is angry, nurture hatred, and is reluctant to speak well of others, perverted in views, and dishonest, name him as an outcast. ක්‍රෝධයෙන් යුතු වෛරපදිනා පවිතුලා මක ගුණද මකනා මිසදිටුව මායාව පානා කෙනා දට යුතු වසල ලෙසිනා තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Chanudi Akki. I'm Senanya. සියලු දෙනාගේම අවසරයි. අද මම මෙතෙන්ට පැමිණියේ වසල සූත්‍රයේ පළමු ගාථාව ගැන කීමටයි. කෝදනෝ උපනාහිච පාපමක්කීච යෝනරෝ විපන්න දිට්ඨි මායාවි තඤ්ඤන්නෝසලෝ ඉති. තරා ගන්නා කිපෙන පුජ්‍ය වසලේකු බව අපේ බුදුහාමුදුරෝ දේශනා කර තිබෙනවා. තරාගත් විට මූණ අවලස්සනනු. ඉක්මනින් අසනීප වෙනවා. ඉක්මනින් වයසට යනවා. මිතුරන් හැමෝම ඈත් වෙනවා. අවමානයට ලක් වෙනවා. නොගිපෙන තරම් නොගන්නා පුද්ගලයා ශාන්ත සුන්දර දකින අයගේ සිතට ප්‍රිය බමුණෙකු වගේයි. ධම්ම පදයේ බුදුහාමුදුරෝ දේශනා කර තිබෙනවා. ඇනුම් බැනුම් අද වන්දන ඉවසාගෙන නොකිපෙන ඉවසේමි බලසෙනගත් ඕ බමුණකු බව පවසමි. ධම්ම පදය බ්‍රාහ්මණවත් තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Hello everyone, today I shall be talking about the first gatha of Vasala Sutta. Kodano upanahicha papamakecha yonavo vipannatitti mayavi tamjana vasalo iti. This gatha talks about personal qualities and it predicts on how one may become an outcast. A person who gets angry very often and doesn't notice good qualities of others and speaks based on wrong views and dishonestly may become an outcast. Thank
you, Manukamali. A Brahmana called Agika Bharadvaja was doing something in his house, called a Brahma blessing. using fire. Buddha was busy on his alms round in a village called Savatthi, which was where the Brahma lived. It is a Buddhist tradition not to leave any house out without asking them for food. As soon as Aggika Bharadvaja saw the Buddha coming towards his house, he said, "Move away, bald-headed one, you outcast."
Do you know what an outcast is, O Brahmana?
I do not know what an outcast is.
And so the Buddha began preaching the Vasala Sutta to the conceited Brahmana. Kodano upanahi cha papamaki chayo naro vipanati
Mayavi Tanjanya Vasalo iti. This means that one who is angry, harbors hatred, speaks of all the faults and weaknesses of others, has a wrong and deceitful mindset. We must know this person as an outcast.
This means that if you are a person that has a bad temper and has a tendency to become angry for no reason at any time, then no one would like you because of your appalling behavior. Through anger, vyapada, and wrong views, mithya drusti, they are committing 2 mental actions of the 10 unwholesome actions, which Buddha quite clearly said not to do.
This person also hates others for his own misfortunes and is unable to refuse to recognize any good qualities in others. They have wrong views and immoral behavior, but is deceitful to hide his own faults and weaknesses, despite quoting all of the faults and weaknesses of other people. In this first verse, Buddha has explained the mind of the Brahmin very well. For example, we learned in a gatha in the Parabhava Sutra, Nangi. Can you remember that gatha?
Yes, I do. Asantassa piya honti, santena kurte piyam, asatam dhamman roseti, tampara vavato mukham.
Yes, Nangi, that is correct. This gatha means the wicked are dear to him. With the virtuous he finds no delight. He prefers the creed of the wicked. This is the cause of one's downfall. The wicked are the people who engage in unwholesome behavior and lack any moral discipline. They do not observe any precepts of morality and are heedless of any spiritual practice. They possess wrong views, mithya drusti, and do not take refuge in the triple gem of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
Thank you for listening. Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Vidanya and Vidanya. Today I'm going to tell you the first gatha Vasala Sutra. Krodano upanane cha papamakevayo naro vipannati mayavi Tanjanya Vasala iti. Krodayen yuttu vairabandina pavitulamukam gunadamakana misaditu amayavapana kena datta yuttu vasala lesina. The English meaning of this gatha is a person who is angry or hostile talks about bad things that other people have done, and these people are called outcasters. This is also called Vasala. Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Metal and Mahali. Buddha Saranai, other side of Buddha Saranai. Kodano upannahi cha papamakhi cha yo nabo Vipannaditta maya vithanjanya vasalo iti.
One can be considered an outcast when they are always hateful to another. Hatred is wishing harm or suffering upon another person. Hatred or anger thrusts us into a vicious cycle of always finding conflict and enemies everywhere around us. We need to be able to control this and be able to reduce our anger. It gives one a bad reputation and you can lose friends. With the poison of hatred, we create conflicts and enemies in the world around us and within our own being. When someone is reluctant to speak good about others and discredit them when they do good, they can come across as being jealous. Jealousy can cause hatred for a person. To be able to control our anger, we need to analyze it and understand the faulty thinking behind our anger. We can meditate mindfully in the present moment, observing anger but not participating in it. Metta and loving kindness meditation is a good meditation for this. We need to be able to practice patience and also try to be optimistic about situations.
Tevang saranai.
Thank you, Dinati Akka and Kavin. Kodano upanahi cha papamakti cha yonaro vipanna ditti maya vitamjanya vasalo iti. This is the first verse from the Vasala Sutta, or the discourse on outcasts. The meaning of this verse is: one who is angry, hostile, evil, hypocritical, and is failing in right vision, know him as an outcast. This means that if you are irritated, easy to be irritated, irritable, holding hatred towards other people, committing many sinful deeds, and lying, then you are an outcast. These are the first signs of that the Lord Buddha told us that show you that somebody is an outcast, opposed to some views on other people. My sister will tell you more about this.
Like my brother said, just because you were born into a lower class does not mean that you are an outcast. It is your actions that define you. For example, if you are moral and you follow the 5 precepts, you are not an outcast, even if you were born into the lowest family. Yet, if you are angry, hostile, and you have a hatred for everyone, then you are an outcast, even if you are born into the wealthiest family. For example, Sunita was an outcast who was shunned from society because he was born into a poor family. However, once he was ordained, he was a great monk, and he was respected by the lords and even the kings. On the other hand, Devadatta was born into royalty, but he committed very, very bad deeds, and he was always angry, jealous, and hostile. He was an outcast. This proves that it is not your family or your wealth that determines whether you are an outcast or not, but your actions. Thank you for listening. Teruvan saranai.
Thank you, Hasindu Malian Avashinangi. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ ජේතවනාරාමේ වැඩවසන කල්හි එක් දින උදෑසන සැවැත් නුවර පිඬුසිඟා වඩින අතරමඟදී එම නුවර ජීවත් වන අග්ගික භාරද්වාජ බ්‍රාහ්මණතුමාගේ නිවසටද පිඬුසිඟා වැඩිසේක. එම බ්‍රාහ්මණතුමා ගිනි දෙවියන් අදහන කෙනෙකි. එම අවස්ථාවේදී ඔහු ගිනි පුදමින් සිටි නිසා තම නිවසට පිඬුසිඟා පැමිණෙන බුදුන්ට ඔහු මෙසේ ප්‍රකාශ කළේය. එම්බා හිස මුඩු කළන මහන ඔතනම සිටුණු එම්බා වසලය ඔතනම සිටුණු මෙසේ කී අවස්ථාවේදී බුදුන් වහන්සේ අග්ගික භාරද්වාජගෙන් අසා සිටියේ වසලයකු යන කවරෙක්දැයි හෝ වසලයකු වීමත් තිබිය යුතු කාරණා ඔබ දන්නේහිද යන්නයි. එවිට ඔහු නැති ස්වාමීනි කී අවස්ථාවේදී ඔහු අරඹයා මෙම වසල සූත්‍රය දේශනා කොට වදාළසේක. කෝදනෝ උපනාහිච පාපමක්කීච යෝ නරෝ විපන්න දිට්ඨි මායාවී තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති. මෙහි වෛරයෙන් සිටිනා අනුන්ගේ ගුණ නසන ඔවුන්ට දොස් පවරන ගතිගුණ ඇති මිත්‍යා දෘෂ්ටි මායාවෙන් මිනිසුන් රවටන පුද්ගලයා වසලයකුම වෙයි යන්නයි. තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Viralaya. Today, I'm going to recite the first gatha of Vasala Sutta and explain its meaning. Kodanyo upanahicha papamakicha yonaro vipanyaditi mayavi damyadna vasalawiti. The meaning of this gatha is, if a person gets angry often, harbors hatred, does not like to speak well of others, holding wrong views and misleading others, know him as an outcast. Thank you for listening. Teruan Saranai.
Thank you, everyone. You showed good understanding of that gatha and the meaning of it. Gave us good information to show that you understood it. So well done. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? So whoever are here all have spoken. Right. So we'll move on to any questions if you have. Has anyone got any questions? Yes, Metal.
Like Commodore said that normally humans are born with one time.
Yeah.
But I think it's 2 times because you get born in the belly as well, in the womb.
Right.
That makes sense. Get out.
Right.
That actually makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point there. So let us explore that idea. That's a really good question, Mithu. So we'll go around the room and ask everyone's opinion. Who wants to go first? Seth.
I think what Metal is saying is right, because it kind of is like you're born into like almost as if it's like 2 worlds. So like one of the worlds you're living in for a couple of months is in the womb, and then for the rest of your life you're outside the womb. But I think I'm not really like sure with this, but I think you have kind of, it's almost like 3 lives. So you're born, you're in the womb, and then you're born for the rest like of your life, but then you die and go to heaven, and I think that's one, and then you carry on to another life and it happens again.
Yeah, that's opinion. That's very good. Lot to think about that answer. Seth, very good. Who would like to go next? Yes, Hasindu.
I actually agree with Methul because it is, you spend 10 months like linking onto sets. It is like spending 10 months in one world where everything's different. I mean, it's just in there, and then you go into another world where everything's different. It is sort of one life, then a second life. Like with what Tamdru said about the bird, that first an egg, one life, then they hatch out from the egg, a second life. That is sort of what's happening with the baby in the womb, the first life, coming out, the second life.
Interesting.
Good. Very good. Anyone else has any other opinion? Viral, what do you think?
I can't agree with Metal because you're for 9 months basically you're living in another world, and then after 9 months you basically live in another one. So I can't agree with Metal.
Right. So you think those two situations were not different birds, different lives? Is it the same?
I'm not really sure about that. It could be this. I'm not really sure, to be honest. You have to ask Hamidro because he knows everything.
So how can you not agree with Metal if you don't know? If it is not.
Because when you're inside your mom's belly, you're literally still, I don't know how to explain it. You're still like a different life. Like you're just, I don't know how to explain this, sorry.
So how can you compare with the example Hasindu gave, that a bird is burned twice, first inside the egg and second outside the egg?
Humans are literally the same thing because compared to the birds, to be honest, because first we have a life inside 9 months, and then after we have another life. So that's literally what Hasindu was trying to explain.
Yeah, if you agree with that, then you will agree with Method.
Yeah, I agree with them.
All right, thank you. Dinite, what do you think?
I have to say I do agree with everyone else, but it's kind of confusing if you think about it, because when you're in your mother's stomach, you're not really conscious of anything. So you could say that isn't really, it is a life, but it's very different. But you are still in the same world, just, yeah, in a separate kind of place.
Right. Thank you. Monica, any idea? Monica, have you got any idea? Okay. Vidya?
No, I don't have one.
No. Do you agree with Method?
I agree and disagree, because I agree about the fact that it's two lives because you're in a different perspective to the other. And then I also disagree because when you're in the womb, you are still a human, but you're not not actually
like an egg.
Yeah, you're not inside an egg. You're in another human being. So that kind of makes you in the same life.
To
me.
Yeah, okay, good. Right. So I know most of you are having so many opinions. So let's, okay, 3 people are there still. I'll go first to Seth.
So now I think that it is like a bird because inside the womb is like an egg. And also I think it's very similar to 2 lives, except you're not like conscious in one of them. But firstly, why I think it's very similar is because when you're inside your mum's tummy, you're growing, and until a certain point, and like when you're say outside the womb and you're like in a baby, you grow until a certain point. So you toddler, and then you get from a baby to a toddler to a child and so on.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Right. So I want you to think about this way. So the bird mom is a mom, isn't it? And your mom is a mom too. So when the bird lays the egg, the bird expects a baby bird to be born. And your mom, even though carries the baby inside the womb, until it is delivered, it's not born. Who agrees with me? Right. Okay. That's my opinion. It may be correct, it may be wrong. Right, we'll go back to the questionnaire. The person who asked the question, Method.
Questionnaire. So, like Vidwan said, like he disagrees with me and also agrees. So the disagree part. Also, at school, in science, I'm learning about habitats and living things. We were learning about humans, and actually, it starts off with starting with a little teeny weeny egg inside of the mummy's womb, and then after a few weeks it becomes an embryo, and then so on until
one baby is an embryo.
Okay. So what are you what is the conclusion of that answer, Mithil?
that means that it has to have two levels.
Okay. Right.
Because how do I say this?
You still think that, okay, Meheli.
I don't really agree, because you start off in the tummy, but you're still the same person. So how would you be born twice, because you're still the same person?
But the bird is still the same bird.
Yeah, so what?
So why the
There you go. You're coming closer to the answer. Okay. Let's go to lastly to Hasindu and Avishai.
So I want to I'm disagreeing with the statement about baby isn't alive and isn't conscious about anything until they're born. So my statement is that sometimes they do, even though they can't see what's going on outside, they are still alert to what's going on. I know when my my mom and dad told me that while I was a baby inside my mom's while I was a baby inside my mom's womb, my sister was singing to me, and I kicked her in the ear. So that means that I was conscious, that so I was alive.
Yeah. On a completely different argument, I would like to say that, well, the baby is just there in the womb. It's not doing, well, anything that contributes to an ecosystem, a place with life. Whereas if you're going to compare it with the egg, yes, the egg does nothing as well, but there's predators who want to eat the egg. So the egg is actually contributing to that little world, to that ecosystem, whereas the baby is doing nothing. So it's the baby's life only begins properly. They learn things, they make friends, they eat, they grow up. That only begins once they are out of the mother's womb.
That's really good, Avishai. Well done. That's a nice answer.
Makes sense.
Right. So, very good opinions, ideas from everyone. And I would kindly pass it to Hamadru for your opinion, Hamadru.
Who can read this? Yes, Seth.
4 kinds of birth. According to Buddhism, there are 4 kinds of birth, namely, 1. Egg born, under hen bird, womb born, jalapuja, moisture born, samsedaya, spontaneous bird, Opapatika. Sorry if I pronounced the words wrong.
Very well tried. Very well tried. Yes. Very good. So in Buddhism, there are 4 kinds of birth take place. Birth begins when it generated, not necessarily in the mother's womb. Some, they don't have a mother's womb. They have the moisture. They born in the water. Some, they don't even have the moisture. They born in the out of spontaneously. Then in the womb, some sages that sometimes that some people like us, we were being born in Jalabuja, in the womb. The birds are being born under, inside of a egg. So what ekajanva dijanvapi, that means when you are separated from the original place of birth, like mother, and that is one birth. So of course you are being started in the womb of mother under the category of womb born, and that is the first. Then once you separated, you are getting another life inside of a shell. So therefore, that is called second birth. Like the story of Arahant Angulimala Thera, he was asked by the Buddha, from the time of you were born into this Arahant life, you are not the same person. So that can be according to a different birth. What Methul and everyone said, to an extent right, because we all the time born again all the time. We are not the same people. We change all the time. So you can be right. In the meantime, there are some other ways that you can identify. So those are kind of egg-born, that is called kind of hen, birds. They are born, first lay the eggs, that's the first part, and then they started to further develop by doing different things with the worms and certain things. Then the again born in that egg. So they are called hen. They are birds, chickens, you know. The second category called birth from womb. That's humans. Can anyone say other than humans, who are else? Who are the beings born in a womb or mother's womb? Who else? Yes, Vidhu?
Any mammals, for example, zebras, mice.
Yes, yes, that's true. Cow, horse, you know, that elephants. Yes, Methu?
Also gazelles, cheetahs, monkeys.
Yes, that's true. So what about the beings are born in the dirty moistures? Who are the dirty moisture born? Who are they? Yes, Methu? Yes. Chanudi didn't say anything. Who are the being born in the dirty moist?
Frogs.
That's true. Worms, Panu. Yes, Seth.
So flies or like something bug related.
I think
So,
they have some sort of, they put some legs or lay eggs.
yeah,
Or
they lay eggs.
yes, yes. Yes, Methul and Meheli.
Mice.
Mice are being born in the womb, in the mother's womb, isn't it?
All amphibians. Like salamanders? No, not crocodiles.
Yes, Hasindu.
Oh yeah, actually crocodiles.
Hasindu want to say something? No. And then Vidun, finally.
Fish are born in the water.
Fish are born in the water. Do they lay eggs? Fish? Do they? No, they are born out of the womb, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes. In your fish tank, you can see. And who are the spontaneous born? Spontaneous born. They're just born. When you open your eyes, they are born in the bed. That's called spontaneous. They don't have a mother. They don't have. Yes, Seth?
Pigeons?
No. Yes, Sanadi?
Virus.
What?
Viruses.
Viruses. Viruses are very much like kind of moisture or certain kind of eggs being put there. Devas, angels, hungry ghost, hell. They are being just born there. Angels, divine beings, hungry ghost, things like that. What do you want to say, Vidunya?
I was just going to say that another spontaneous born was a butterfly.
They put the eggs, isn't it?
Do butterflies put eggs?
Oh, you mean caterpillar?
A butterfly comes from caterpillar. Yes, that is kind of a second birth, and that's a second birth.
Wow.
Good. Thank you very much. And it's very good conversation. Everybody contributed. So a lot of things to think for you to investigate, about the first Ekaja, Dvijada, once born, twice born, what does it mean? It's a good way of thinking. So all your thinking is good and right, and that is very helpful. So time for meditation now. I invite our Padmanti to do the meditation. That would be useful.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, no response?
We can
Very
hear
good.
you.
Very
We
good.
can hear you.
We can hear
Thank
you.
you.
very
Thank you. I won't like that sound. Okay. No birthdays today? Nobody celebrate birthday? Every Saturday we have good birthday.
No, but it's my sister's birthday on July the 20th.
20th, not today. Is it?
But soon.
So how long have you been, how long you all meditate at home?
About 10 minutes.
And we normally do at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock? For how long?
10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes.
If we have extra time, then actually 15 minutes.
Okay. So can anybody tell me what does it mean by meditation? We all always doing meditation. Can I ask Tanudi? What do you mean by meditation?
Calming.
Calming, okay. Set.
It's relaxing your body, kind of.
Asindu?
Meditation means to contemplate on a thought or an idea or something. Like in breathing meditation, we contemplate on our breathing.
Okay. Can I ask Vidun why we have to do meditation?
If you don't do meditation, then your mind would be crazy and you won't be able to focus on one thing. You won't be able to focus on one thing correctly.
Distracted.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we do then meditation for few minutes? Yeah. Find a comfortable posture. If you are comfortable, you can close your eyes. It will be more helpful for you. Pay attention to your posture. Of sitting, head to toe. Sitting, sitting, sitting. Your body will be automatically straight. Shoulders, neck. When you are paying attention to your mind and body. Take few gentle breaths and relax yourself. Breathing in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Breathing in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Pay attention to your body now. See your mind is wandering. Or relax. Keep your body straight. Sit in your chair properly. Recognize this serenity, how you feel. Determine to retain in this balance, recognizing your nature of mind. All day alone, till you go to sleep. Recite in your head with the rhythm of the breath. I determine it skillful thoughts to myself. I determine not to slave to my emotions, anger, or other misbehaving nature. With the rhythm of your breath, determine not to be slave to your taste buds. Taking unnecessary food, toxicants, I determine not to let speak words which concerns as bad thoroughly. I determine from today onwards before I open my mouth to say something to someone, It could be to your mother, father, friends, neighbors, anybody around. I'm very careful and watch my thoughts. I know if I am not mindful, I am accumulating a lot of bad deeds. Therefore, I determine not to waste my precious time my mom's, dad's, my family members, friends, or anybody around me. Time is precious. I am mindful all the time about precious time about everyone around me. I never leave my mess for others to clean up. Let others do what I should do by myself. I understand as quick as possible my laziness and negligence. I guard my mind well against anger, practice tolerance and patience to the highest possible extent. I avoid ill will and selfishness by doing noble-minded deeds for welfare of others. If others lack of these basic virtues, I know they deserve compassion because they are heading towards to suffering. I avoid wicked individuals as far as possible as they are time wasters. Obstruct my right path of happiness. I protect myself from them consciously by practicing self-control and equanimity. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. I will leave you 2 minutes to practice by yourself. Whatever you can remember, Just recite in your head. With the rhythm of your breath, may I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from envy. May I be free from suffering. May I maintain my well-being. May I attain a spiritual bliss. Take 2 minutes on your own. Experience the serenity in your body and mind. If your mind wanders, just recognize. With the with the breath, please recite this. May no harm come to me. May no dangers come my way. May no illnesses afflict me. May no fears affect me. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from envy. May I be free from suffering. May I maintain my well-being. May I attain spiritual bliss. Whatever you can remember, revise without guidance. See the serenity within you, calmness while you are reciting. See whether you are honestly practicing. I will leave you for 5 minutes. You can do this meditation anytime, when you are walking, sitting, standing, going to school, eating, drinking. You don't have to have a certain time. Around the clock, you can do this. Then you will improve your serenity, calmness within yourself. You will improve the concentration. To finish our meditation for the day, we will bring our palms together jointly, close to our heart, in a prayer posture. We'll be grateful to ourselves, first of all. We will be grateful to our parents, our teachers, and the monks who are facilitating to educate us. Finally, for this breathing space, giving oxygen for us to breathe. Bear all this in mind. We will say sadhu 3 times. Can Seth loudly say sadhu, please? Senut, can you say sadhu, please?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante. Over to you.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful meditation. Hope you all can practice at home and benefit from those meditations. Yes, until we meet again next Saturday, may the Triple Gem bless you all. Have a good week. Thank you. Bless you all.
No one wants to go.
Everyone Saranai Hamdurane.
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 Everyone Saranai.
Everyone Saranai Hamdurane.
Thank you, Rasikai.
Hondai hamdurane අපි නවතින්න.
Hondai Rasikai.
Everyone Saranai.
Everyone Saranai.
Everyone Saranai.